Hey y'all, I am Kayla Prince with Imperial Insurance Team, where we help you guard your legacy like royalty. Today, I'm going to explain something that causes confusion for a lot of people, and that is the different types of insurance. So if you ever wondered which one is right for you, or just trying to figure out what someone has quoted you or what you have or what you're looking for, I am here to help you figure that out today. I am going to break all that down for you today in plain English, so let's get into it. Okay, first, term life. Let's just call it the budget-friendly starter. So term life is exactly what it sounds like. It is coverage for a period of time. It is coverage for a certain term. That time is usually 10, 20, 30 years at the most. Think of it kind of sort of like you're renting your insurance. So if you pass away during that term or during that time of the policy, your beneficiary gets the full payout tax-free. Term is great if you are a young parent with kids at home, you have a mortgage, if you're carrying a lot of debt like student loans or car loans, or if you're on a tight budget but you still want to have protection in place. Some of the pros for getting term life insurance are it is very affordable for the amount of coverage that you get. Also, it's great for short-term needs if you have debt such as car loans, student loans, raising kids, paying off a mortgage, and you can lock in coverage while you're still young and healthy. Now, some of the cons on the other side are when the term ends, your coverage also ends. So there's the potential for you to outlive your policy. And if you outlive the policy just goes away. If you outlive the policy, you don't get anything back unless you get a policy where you get a return of premium. That's a whole nother ball game. But typically for most term policies, if you outlive the policy, you don't get anything back. Also, there's no cash value. So when the policy ends or expires, the policy just goes away. The second type of policy is a whole life policy. We'll call it the forever plan. Whole life policies are in place forever. They're in place for as long as you live. It lasts as long as you do. Your premiums stay the same for the entire duration of your policy or your life, and the policy builds cash value that you can borrow from in the future. Whole life policies are ideal for people who want lifelong coverage, people who are building savings alongside of having the life insurance coverage, and also for those who want to lock in a legacy for their loved ones. Some of the pros of having a whole life policy include a guaranteed payout. Your family is covered no matter what when you pass. Your beneficiaries will get the full payout of the policy when you pass. Whole life policies build tax-deferred cash value. And also, the premiums never, ever increase. The premium that you start with is the premium that you end with. Some of the cons of having a whole life policy are they are more expensive than term up front. Also, the policies do take time for the cash value to grow. The third type of policy is a final expense policy. This is a no stress coverage. Final expense policies are a type of a whole life policy. The difference is the death benefit is usually smaller than a typical whole life policy. It's designed to help for funeral costs, paying medical bills, and taking care of leftover debt so that your family doesn't have that burden to deal with when you die. And they don't have to take money out of their pocket to pay for those expenses. Final expense policies are great for seniors or people who are on a fixed income, people who were denied coverage with other carriers, or anyone who just wants to have their final expenses taken care of. Pros of a final expense policy: in many cases, there's no medical exam required. Also, it's easy to qualify even if there are health issues. And The premiums are a fixed, affordable rate. Cons of final expense policies: as I stated, there's usually a lower payout because the death benefit is usually lower because it's intended to just cover final expenses and debt that may be left behind by a loved one. And final expense policies are not intended to replace an income. It is strictly for end of life expenses. Now let's talk about the fourth type of policy, the IUL, or Indexed Universal Life Policy. We'll call it the Wealth Builder. This one combines lifelong coverage with the ability to grow cash value based on the stock market's performance without risking your money. IULs are best for business owners or self-employed people who are interested in tax-free wealth building, anyone who wants flexibility and control over their policy. Pros of an IUL or Indexed Universal Life Policy. They grow cash value based on market index performance. You choose how much you want to contribute, and also loans and withdrawals can be taken tax-free when you're in retirement. Cons of IULs: they are more complex than term and whole life policies. That would be a whole other video in itself by itself. Performance depends on market trends, and we know how the market works nowadays. Costs of the IUL can rise if they are not structured correctly. So it has to be designed well in order for you to not have the increased costs of having an IUL. So let's recap. Term is affordable and short term. Whole life is permanent and builds cash value. Final expense is simple and stress-free. IULs give you long-term protection and wealth building potential. So there is no one-size-fits-all policy for everyone. It all depends on your stage of life, your goals, and your budget. If you're still not sure on which type of policy would be best for you, that is where I come in. I help clients to choose the best coverage and policy for their needs and what works best for them and what makes sense for them in their real life situation. DM me Policy Match or click the link in my bio to schedule a quick call. I'll answer any questions you have and we can discuss what type of policy might fit you best. It's free, doesn't cost you a thing, and you will leave with peace of mind knowing that your legacy is protected. I'll talk to you soon, and remember, guard your legacy like royalty.